Remember when Grandma's tiny apartment somehow had room for everything? The greatest generation mastered the art of making every square inch count long before anyone coined the term tiny house movement. Today, we're exploring 25 brilliant space-saving tricks that our grandmothers perfected out of pure necessity. Let's start with the underbed storage system. Grandma knew that the space under your bed wasn't just for dust bunnies and lost socks. She'd slide wooden apple crates or old dresser drawers under there, creating instant storage compartments. Back in the 1940s and 50s, when closets were tiny and homes averaged just 1,000 square feet, this space was prime real estate. She'd store seasonal clothing in old suitcases, winter quilts in cedar-lined boxes, and even canned goods if the pantry ran out of a room. The trick was raising the bed slightly with wooden blocks to maximize the storage potential. Today's plastic storage bins can't match the durability of those repurposed wooden crates that lasted decades. Pegboard kitchen walls. Long before Pinterest made pegboards trendy, Grandma was hanging her entire kitchen arsenal on perforated hardboard. A single 4x8 sheet of pegboard cost about 50 cents in 1955, equivalent to about $5 today. She'd paint it to match her kitchen and use bent coat hangers as custom hooks. Every pot, pan, strainer, and measuring cup had its designated spot, freeing up precious cabinet space for dishes and dry goods. The beauty was in the flexibility. She could rearrange everything seasonally, moving canning supplies front and center during harvest time. Ceiling-mounted drying racks. Those pulley-operated wooden racks hanging from kitchen ceilings weren't just for show. Grandma's ceiling-mounted drying rack, often called a Victorian error, could hold an entire load of laundry in winter or herbs for drying in summer. The pulleys made it easy to lower for loading and raise to ceiling height where warm air circulated best. In a 900-square-foot home with no laundry room, this saved floor space while clothes dried overnight. The same rack doubled as storage for root vegetables in mesh bags during winter months. Mason jar organization. Before Marie Kondo sparked joy, Grandma was screwing mason jar lids to the underside of shelves, creating instant see-through storage that utilized dead space. A dozen ball mason jars cost about 60 cents in 1950. She'd store everything from buttons and screws to spices and penny candy in these suspended glass containers. The genius was that you could see exactly what you had at a glance, and nothing got lost in the back of drawers. Small items that would normally create clutter suddenly had a home that took up zero counter or shelf space. Fold-down ironing board cabinet. Built right into the wall between studs, Grandma's ironing board disappeared completely when not in use. These built-in ironing board cabinets were standard in homes built between 1920 and 1960. The board folded down on hinges, and the shallow cabinet above held the iron, starch, and pressing cloths. In apartments where every room served multiple purposes, this meant the kitchen or bedroom didn't need to sacrifice precious floor space for an ironing board. Some models even included electrical outlets inside for the iron. Staircase drawers. If Grandma had stairs, she saw storage opportunity in every riser. Pull-out drawers built into stair risers held shoes, cleaning supplies, or seasonal decorations. Each step could hide a drawer deep enough for storing blankets or photo albums. In row houses where stairs often ran along an exterior wall, this utilized space that would otherwise be completely wasted. The construction was simple, just wooden boxes on drawer slides, but the storage capacity was enormous. A typical 13-step staircase could add the equivalent of a small closet's worth of storage. Curtain room dividers. When families of 6 lived in 2-bedroom homes, Grandma used ceiling-mounted curtain tracks to create instant rooms. A heavy curtain could transform one bedroom into 2 private spaces for siblings or section off a sleeping area in the living room. The curtains cost a fraction of building walls and could be opened during the day to maintain the feeling of space. She'd often use old bedspreads or quilts as room dividers, adding both privacy and insulation. Revolving corner shelves. Grandma's Lazy Susan wasn't just for the dining table. She installed rotating shelves in corner cabinets, pantries, and even under sinks. These handmade wooden turntables, often crafted by Grandpa, made every inch of deep corner storage accessible. No more losing items in dark cabinet corners. She could spin the shelf and reach everything stored there, effectively doubling the usable space in corner cabinets that typically became black holes for forgotten items. Window shelf gardens. Glass shelves across windows held Grandma's herb garden year-round without sacrificing natural light or floor space. Using simple brackets and recycled window panes as shelves, she created multi-tiered growing spaces. Each shelf caught different amounts of light, perfect for various plants. This window garden provided fresh herbs for cooking, improved air quality, and added beauty without taking up any room inside the home's living space. Behind door storage. Every door back was valuable real estate. Grandma hung shoe bags on bedroom doors, spice racks on pantry doors, and cleaning supplies on closet doors. She'd nail up simple wooden slats to create narrow shelving systems that held everything from books to toiletries. The back of the bathroom door might hold towels on hooks at the top, a mirror in the middle, and a magazine rack at the bottom. This vertical storage solution added dozens of square feet of storage without changing the room's footprint. Trunk coffee tables. That old steamer. Trunk wasn't just decoration, it was Grandma's secret storage weapon. These trunks served as coffee tables, end tables, or bedroom benches while hiding everything from winter coats to holiday decorations inside. A quality trunk in the 1940s cost about $15, roughly $200 today, but lasted generations. The interior often featured compartments and trays for organization. Some families stored entire sets of china or silver in these trunks, keeping heirlooms safe, while the trunk did double duty as furniture. Attic pulley systems. Grandma rigged up simple rope and pulley systems to hoist boxes and seasonal items into attic storage. This meant she didn't need to wrestle heavy items up narrow attic stairs. A few dollars worth of hardware from the local store created an elevator system that could lift 50-pound boxes with minimal effort. The pulleys were often attached to exposed beam, and boxes were labeled clearly since retrieval required lowering everything in reverse order. Magnetic knife strips. Long before magnetic knife blocks became kitchen boutique items, Grandma was gluing magnets to wooden strips and mounting them on walls. This freed up counter space and drawer space while keeping knives sharp by preventing blade contact with other utensils. She'd often use the same magnetic strips for measuring spoons, bottle openers, and any small metal kitchen tool. The strips cost virtually nothing to make and lasted decades. Drawer divider boxes. Grandma saved every small box that came into the house, from jewelry boxes to cigar boxes, and used them to organize drawers. These became dividers for silverware, sewing supplies, and junk drawers. Unlike today's plastic organizers, these wooden and cardboard boxes could be customized by cutting them down or combining them. She'd cover them with leftover wallpaper or contact paper to make them pretty. This system cost nothing and created perfectly customized drawer organization. Murphy bed ingenuity. In city apartments, Grandma's Murphy bed transformed the living room into a bedroom at night. These wall beds, popular from the 1920s through 1960s, folded up completely during the day, often hiding behind what looked like a cabinet or bookshelf. The mechanism was simple but effective, using counterweights or springs to make lifting easy. Some designs included fold-down desks attached to the bottom of the bed, creating an instant office when the bed was raised. cellar door storage. The slanted cellar door wasn't wasted space in Grandma's house. She attached narrow shelves to the back of the door for canned goods, creating a mini pantry that utilized otherwise dead space. The slanted angle actually made items easier to see and reach than traditional vertical shelving. Root cellars stayed cool year-round, making this ideal food storage that didn't require refrigeration. Clothesline pulley systems. Indoor clotheslines weren't just one rope across the basement. Grandma installed elaborate pulley systems that could extend multiple lines when needed and retract completely when not in use. The lines might run from the back porch to a pole in the yard or across the entire length of an attic. The pulleys meant she never had to walk the length of the line, just stand in one spot and pull the line to hang each item. Nesting furniture. Grandma's nesting tables weren't bought from fancy stores. Grandpa often made them in sets of 3 or 4 that slid under each other. When company came, out came all the tables. Daily living required just one. This same principle applied to mixing bowls, storage containers, and even stools. Everything was designed to take up the minimum space when not in use. The largest table might be 24 inches square, with each smaller table fitting perfectly underneath. Wall-mounted drop-leaf tables. Attached directly to the wall with heavy-duty hinges, these tables folded flat when not in use. Grandma might have one in the kitchen for extra prep space, one in a bedroom as a desk, and another in the hallway as a telephone table. When folded down, they projected just 2 inches from the wall. Raised up, they could seat 4 people for cards or provide workspace for sewing projects. The support was either a folding leg or chains attached to wall hooks. Radiator covers with storage. Those decorative radiator covers weren't just for safety and aesthetics. Grandma built storage into them, creating hidden compartments for magazines, games, or even liquor bottles during Prohibition. The metal grating that allowed heat to escape could hide shelving behind it. The top of the radiator cover became an extra shelf for plants or family photos. In rooms where radiators took up valuable wall space, this hack essentially reclaimed that lost square footage. Cabinet door organizers. Inside every cabinet door, Grandma installed narrow racks made from wooden slats and small nails. These held pot lids, cutting boards, baking sheets, and anything else flat that usually got jumbled in cabinets. She'd measure each item and customize the rack spacing accordingly. The materials cost pennies, but the organization value was priceless. Kitchen cabinets that seemed full suddenly had room for twice as much when items were stored vertically on doors. Hollow ottoman storage. That needlepoint ottoman wasn't just for resting feet. Grandma's ottomans opened up to reveal storage for magazines, knitting supplies, or children's toys. She'd often make these from wooden crates, adding padding on top and fabric around the sides. The lid might be hinged or completely removable. In living rooms where every piece of furniture had to earn its keep, these ottoman storage boxes provided seating, footrests, and hidden storage in one compact piece. Tension rod organizers. Before shower caddies, Grandma used tension rods everywhere. Under the kitchen sink, tension rods held cleaning supplies. In closets, they created double-hanging space for shirts. In cabinets, vertical tension rods created dividers for baking sheets and cutting boards. These spring-loaded rods cost about 25 cents in 1955 and required no installation hardware. She could reconfigure storage instantly by moving rods around as needs changed. Corner cabinet carousels. That rotating spice rack concept extended to entire corner cabinets in Grandma's kitchen. She'd have Grandpa build circular wooden shelves on a center pole that rotated like a lazy Susan. This brought everything stored in deep corners within easy reach. The mechanism was simple, just a metal pole with bearings at top and bottom, but it transformed previously wasted corner space into premium storage. Bathroom ladder shelves. An old wooden ladder leaning against the bathroom wall became Grandma's towel rack and toiletry storage. Each rung held rolled towels or baskets for washcloths and soaps. The top might have a small board across it to create a shelf for decorative items or extra toilet paper. This vertical storage solution took up less than 1 square foot of floor space, but provided multiple levels of storage and display. Paint it white, and suddenly it looked intentional rather than makeshift. Thanks for joining us on this trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed exploring these 25 space-saving secrets, give it a like and share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe. Did you ever wonder how your grandmother managed to make perfect pie crusts and keep food fresh without fancy gadgets? Before the internet and cooking shows, home cooks passed down clever tricks that actually worked better than many modern solutions. Today we're exploring 30 ingenious food hacks from Grandma's kitchen that solve everyday cooking problems with surprising simplicity. Let's start with grating frozen butter for pastry. This brilliant technique revolutionized home baking long before food processors became standard kitchen equipment. When you freeze a stick of butter solid and run it across a box grater, you create perfect tiny shards that stay cold and separate throughout your dough. Unlike cutting butter with knives or pastry blenders, which can warm and smear the fat, frozen grating keeps those precious butter pieces intact. As the pastry bakes, these frozen bits create steam pockets that lift and separate the layers, resulting in the flakiest biscuits and pie crusts you've ever tasted. Professional bakers discovered this trick delivers results that rival expensive European butter, and once you try it, you'll never go back to the old cutting-in method. The key is working quickly and keeping everything cold, just like Grandma always insisted. Wooden spoon on pot. That old wooden spoon laid across a boiling pot wasn't just Grandma being absent-minded. This simple physics trick has saved countless stovetops from pasta water disasters and milk boilovers. The dry wooden spoon breaks the surface tension of rising bubbles before they can cascade over the rim, disrupting the foam structure that forms when starchy water reaches a rolling boil. Wood works better than metal because it doesn't conduct heat, staying cool enough to pop bubbles on contact, while metal spoons would just heat up and become ineffective. This hack gives you an extra 30 seconds to dash back to the stove when you hear that telltale bubbling, preventing those crusty, burned-on messes that take forever to scrub clean. Many modern cooks have rediscovered this trick after years of failed attempts with pot watchers and special lids. The spoon doesn't stop boiling entirely, but buys you precious time when multitasking in a busy kitchen. Revive stale bread with water. Before bread makers and preservatives, housewives knew exactly how to bring yesterday's loaf back to life. Running a stale baguette or crusty loaf briefly under cold water, then popping it in a hot oven for 5 to 10 minutes works genuine magic. The water rehydrates the outer crust while the heat regelatinizes the starch molecules inside, essentially reversing the staling process that makes bread hard and unappetizing. This technique works because staling isn't about moisture loss alone, but about starch crystallization, which heat temporarily reverses. French bakers have used this method for centuries, and it works on everything from artisan sourdough to basic sandwich loaves. The restored bread won't last as long as fresh, but for immediate eating, it's indistinguishable from bakery fresh. Modern food science has proven what grandmothers knew intuitively. Bread can be resurrected with just water and heat. Shake peel garlic in a jar. Long before silicone garlic peelers hit the market, cooks discovered that vigorous shaking in a sealed container makes garlic practically peel itself. Drop whole cloves into a mason jar, secure the lid tightly, and shake like you're mixing a cocktail for about 20 seconds. The violent motion causes the papery skins to split and separate from the cloves, leaving you with perfectly peeled garlic and clean hands that don't reek for hours. This method works especially well with older, drier garlic where skins have loosened slightly from storage. Professional chefs adopted this technique for bulk prep, sometimes using 2 metal bowls pressed together for larger batches. The physics involve impact force and air pressure changes that break the skin's grip on each clove. Your grandmother might have used a tin can with a lid, achieving the same result with whatever was handy. Soften brown sugar with bread. That rock-hard brick of brown sugar in your pantry can be salvaged with nothing more than a humble slice of bread. Place a piece of fresh bread in your brown sugar container, seal it tight, and wait overnight for the moisture transfer that restores sugar's soft, scoopable texture. The science is simple. Brown sugar hardens when its natural molasses moisture evaporates, and bread's moisture content naturally equalizes with the sugar, reversing the hardening process. This trick dates back to when brown sugar came in solid cones that required special tools to break apart. A piece of apple or a damp paper towel works too, but bread won't add unwanted flavors or make the sugar too wet. Modern brown sugar savers use the same principle with terracotta discs you soak in water. Once softened, the sugar stays that way for weeks if kept sealed. Spoon to peel ginger. Forget vegetable peelers that waste half your ginger root trying to navigate those knobby curves and crevices. A simple teaspoon edge scrapes away ginger's thin skin while following every contour, preserving the flavorful flesh underneath. This technique originated in Asian kitchens where ginger is a daily staple and waste is unthinkable. The spoon's rounded edge is gentle enough to remove just the papery skin without digging into the root, unlike knives or peelers that take chunks of usable ginger with them. Professional chefs worldwide have adopted this method because it's faster and more efficient than any specialized tool. Fresh young ginger with translucent skin barely needs peeling at all, but older, tougher roots benefit most from the spoon technique. Your hands stay relatively dry, reducing the slippery danger of handling wet ginger with sharp tools. Vinegar water for berries. Before expensive produce washes existed, a quick vinegar rinse extended berry life by days or even weeks. Mix 1 part white or apple cider vinegar with 3 parts water, swish berries gently for 30 seconds, rinse with clean water, and dry thoroughly before refrigerating. The mild acid kills mold spores and bacteria that cause rapid spoilage without affecting taste when properly rinsed. This method is especially crucial for delicate berries like raspberries and strawberries that can turn fuzzy overnight. Food scientists have confirmed that vinegar solutions eliminate up to 98% of bacteria and mold spores on produce surfaces. The key is thorough drying, as excess moisture accelerates decay even after sanitizing. Grandmothers who preserved summer's bounty knew this trick kept berries fresh long enough for making preserves and pies. Salt cucumbers ahead. Nobody wants a watery cucumber salad diluting their carefully crafted dressing, and Grandma's salt trick ensures crisp, flavorful results every time. Slice cucumbers, toss with salt, let them rest in a colander for 30 minutes, then pat dry before adding to your dish. The salt draws out excess water through osmosis, concentrating flavor and preventing that pool of liquid that ruins potato salads and Greek salads alike. This technique, called degorging, has been used for centuries across cultures from Japanese sunomono to Middle Eastern fattoush. The amount of water expelled is surprising, often a quarter cup from just 2 cucumbers. After salting, cucumbers stay crisp for hours without weeping, and they absorb dressings better because their cell structure has been slightly opened. Restaurant chefs wouldn't dream of skipping this step for composed salads. Calm raw onions. Raw onions can overwhelm a dish with their harsh bite, but a simple soak transforms them into mild, sweet additions perfect for salads and sandwiches. Slice onions and submerge in cold water for 10 minutes, or use a diluted vinegar solution for quicker results. This process leaches out the sulfur compounds responsible for that aggressive burn while preserving crunch and fresh onion flavor. Mexican cooks have long known the secret for their fresh salsas and pickled onions, where raw bite would overpower other ingredients. The water bath also removes some of the compounds that cause bad breath and indigestion, making raw onions more socially acceptable. Red onions respond particularly well to this treatment, becoming almost sweet after soaking. Change the water once if you want extra mildness. Eggshell rescues, shell bits. When a piece of shell falls into your bowl of cracked eggs, skip the frustrating finger chase and grab a larger shell piece instead. The sharp edge of an empty shell half cuts through the viscous egg white like a knife, while the calcium carbonate naturally attracts and grabs floating shell fragments. This works because of surface tension and the similar molecular structure between shell pieces, making retrieval almost magnetic. Trying to pinch out shells with fingers usually results in the fragment sliding away repeatedly, wasting time and potentially contaminating eggs with bacteria from your hands. Professional bakers have used this trick for generations when cracking dozens of eggs for large batches. The shell method works even with tiny, nearly invisible fragments that could ruin the texture of delicate custards or meringues. Balance oversalted soups. That moment when you realize you've oversalted a pot of soup doesn't have to mean starting over from scratch. Add unsalted broth or water to dilute, introduce a starch like rice or potatoes to absorb excess sodium, and finish with a splash of acid like lemon juice or vinegar to brighten and balance flavors. The old tale about potatoes removing salt is partially true. They absorb salty liquid, but don't selectively extract sodium. Adding dairy like cream or milk can also mellow saltiness by coating the tongue and adding richness. Sugar, surprisingly, can counteract salt perception without making food sweet when used sparingly. Professional kitchens keep unsalted stock specifically for fixing seasoning mistakes. The acid addition is crucial because it changes how our taste buds perceive salt, making the overall flavor more complex rather than simply salty. Rest pancake batter. Grandma always mixed pancake batter first thing, then let it sit while she cooked bacon and set the table, and there was good science behind this routine. Resting batter for just 10 to 15 minutes allows flour proteins to fully hydrate and air bubbles from mixing to dissipate, resulting in tender, evenly risen pancakes instead of tough, lumpy discs. This rest period lets gluten relax after mixing, preventing that chewy, rubbery texture that plagues rushed pancakes. Professional chefs know this technique applies to crepes, waffles, and Yorkshire puddings too. The flour continues absorbing liquid during rest, thickening the batter naturally without extra flour that would make pancakes dense. Some batters improve with even longer rests, developing complex flavors as enzymes break down starches. That first pancake isn't a sacrifice when batter has properly rested. Preheat sheet for roast veg. Placing vegetables on a cold sheet pan is the fastest way to guarantee soggy, steamed vegetables instead of beautifully caramelized ones. Put your oiled sheet pan in the oven while it preheats. Then carefully add vegetables to the hot surface for an instant sizzle that starts browning immediately. This technique prevents moisture from pooling underneath vegetables during the critical first minutes of roasting. Root vegetables like potatoes and carrots especially benefit from this head start, developing golden crusts while staying fluffy inside. The hot pan creates a temperature differential that drives moisture away from the contact surface, enabling the Maillard reaction that creates those delicious brown bits. Restaurant kitchens always use heated pans for roasting because the difference in results is dramatic. Even delicate vegetables like Brussels, sprouts, and broccoli crisp better on preheated surfaces. Toast nuts and spices. Before adding nuts to brownies or spices to curry, a quick toast in a dry pan transforms good ingredients into extraordinary ones. Heat awakens dormant oils and volatile compounds, intensifying flavors without adding any extra ingredients or calories. Grandmothers toasted everything from sesame seeds to coriander. knowing that 30 seconds of heat could double the flavor impact. The chemical changes during toasting create hundreds of new flavor compounds through the Maillard reaction and caramelization. Toasted nuts stay crunchier in baked goods because the heat drives out residual moisture that would otherwise steam during baking. Whole spices toasted before grinding release oils that pre-ground versions have long lost. Watch carefully, as the line between perfectly toasted and burnt is mere seconds. Herb bouquet storage. Fresh herbs wilt faster than good intentions, unless you treat them like the living plants they are. Stand herb bunches in a jar with an inch of water, tent loosely with a plastic bag, and refrigerate for storage that extends life from days to weeks. This method maintains the moisture balance herbs need while preventing the suffocating dampness that causes rot in sealed bags. Basil is the exception, preferring countertop storage as refrigeration causes black spots. Your grandmother might have kept parsley in a glass on the windowsill, using the same principle with natural light as a bonus. Trim stem ends occasionally and change water every few days for maximum longevity. This technique works for asparagus and celery too, keeping them crisp and fresh far longer than crisper drawer storage. Freeze stock in ice trays. Long before bouillon cubes, smart cooks froze homemade stock in ice cube trays for instant flavor boosts whenever needed. Each cube equals roughly 2 tablespoons, perfect for deglazing pans, enriching rice, or adding depth to quick weeknight sauces. Wine, leftover coffee, coconut milk, and herb oils all benefit from cube freezing, creating a freezer arsenal of flavor bombs. Once frozen solid, transfer cubes to labeled bags to free up trays and prevent freezer burn. This method eliminates waste from opened wine bottles or extra stock that would spoil before use. Professional kitchens freeze concentrated stocks and sauces this way for consistent portioning. Your grandmother probably used metal ice trays with lever releases, achieving the same convenient results. Mayo for grilled cheese. Butter might be traditional, but mayonnaise creates the ultimate grilled cheese exterior with its higher smoke point and perfect fat distribution. Mayo spreads thinner and more evenly than cold butter, coating every millimeter for consistent browning without burnt spots or pale patches. The egg proteins in the mayonnaise enhance browning, while the oil creates an incredibly crispy crust that shatters at first bite. This trick works because mayo is essentially pre-emulsified oil that won't pool or run like melted butter. Southern cooks have used this technique for decades on everything from grilled sandwiches to corn on the cob. The slight tang from Mayo's vinegar complements cheese beautifully without being detectable as mayonnaise. Once you try this method, butter seems unnecessarily difficult. Save bacon drippings. That liquid gold left after frying bacon deserves better than the garbage disposal, and your grandmother knew exactly how valuable this flavor resource was. Strain hot drippings through a fine mesh or coffee filter into a clean jar, refrigerate, and enjoy months of instant smoky richness for pennies. A spoonful transforms bland vegetables, adds depth to cornbread, and makes the ultimate fried eggs. Before refrigeration, rendered fats were crucial preservation methods and flavor enhancers that nothing from a bottle can replicate. Bacon fat's smoke point makes it ideal for high-heat cooking where butter would burn. Southern and soul food traditions rely heavily on saved drippings for authentic flavor. Modern chefs are rediscovering this waste-not approach as sustainable cooking gains importance. Label your jar with the date and type of bacon for best results. Poach eggs with a splash. Perfect poached eggs seemed like magic until you learned Grandma's vinegar secret for keeping whites together instead of creating egg drop soup. Add a tablespoon of white vinegar to barely simmering water, create a gentle whirlpool, and drop your egg into the center for a neat, restaurant-worthy result. The acid causes egg proteins to denature and coagulate faster, setting the white before it can disperse into wisps. This technique eliminates the need for special poaching cups or complicated wrapping methods. Professional breakfast chefs wouldn't dream of poaching without vinegar, sometimes using several gallons of acidulated water for service. The vinegar taste doesn't transfer to eggs when used sparingly. Fresh eggs work best because their tighter proteins hold together naturally. Revive wilted greens. That bag of spinach looking sad and limp can be resurrected with an ice water bath that would make any spa jealous. Submerge wilted greens in ice-cold water for 10 to 30 minutes and watch them perk up as their cells rehydrate and cell walls regain turgor pressure. This process, called crisping, reverses the moisture loss that causes wilting, restoring that satisfying crunch to lettuce, herbs, and leafy vegetables. Farmers have long known this trick for reviving produce after hot market days. The cold temperature also helps by slowing enzymatic breakdown that continues after harvest. Add a pinch of salt or sugar to the water for even better results through osmotic pressure. Spin dry thoroughly after soaking, as excess water dilutes dressings and causes faster re-wilting. Grate tomatoes for sauce. Mediterranean grandmothers have been grating tomatoes for smooth sauces long before food processors existed. Cut a tomato in half, grate the cut side on a box grater, and you're left with fresh pulp while the skin stays intact in your hand. This technique creates the perfect texture for gazpacho, pan con tomate, or quick pasta sauces without the hassle of blanching and peeling. The grater breaks down cell walls more effectively than chopping, releasing more flavor and creating natural thickness. Spanish cooks swear this method produces superior flavor because the skin never touches the sauce, eliminating any bitterness. Frozen tomatoes grate even easier, making this a great way to use summer's bounty year-round. The leftover skins can be dried and ground for tomato powder. Cake strip alternative. Professional bakers use special insulated strips for level cake layers, but your grandmother achieved the same results with wet towel strips. Tear an old towel into strips, soak in water, wrap around cake pans, and secure with safety pins for cakes that rise evenly without domed centers. The wet fabric insulates pan edges, slowing heat transfer so edges cook at the same rate as centers. This prevents the crusty, overcooked edges that happen when metal conducts heat too efficiently. Before commercial cake strips existed, this was the secret to professional-looking layer cakes. The science involves controlling the temperature gradient across the pan for uniform structure development. Modern silicone strips work on the same principle, but wet towels cost nothing. Freeze herbs in oil. Fresh herbs frozen in olive oil maintain their vibrant flavor far better than dried versions ever could. Chop herbs, pack into ice cube trays, cover with oil, and freeze for instant flavor cubes that melt directly into hot pans. The oil protects delicate herbs from freezer burn while preserving their essential oils that would evaporate during drying. This method works brilliantly for basil, which turns black when frozen in water but stays green in oil. Mediterranean cooks have preserved herbs this way for centuries before refrigeration, using the solidified oil throughout winter. Each cube provides pre-measured portions perfect for sautéing vegetables or starting soups. Garlic, ginger, and chili peppers also freeze beautifully in oil. Baking soda tenderizer. Chinese restaurants' incredibly tender beef isn't magic but chemistry, using a technique called velveting that home cooks can replicate with baking soda. Toss sliced meat with a small amount of baking soda, rest for 15 minutes, rinse thoroughly, and proceed with your recipe for remarkably tender results. The alkaline environment raises meat's pH, causing proteins to repel each other and hold more moisture during cooking. This technique has been used in Asian kitchens for centuries, long before anyone understood the science. The key is using just a quarter teaspoon per pound and rinsing well to avoid any soapy taste. Tough cuts like round steak become almost fillet-like with this treatment. Which of these old-school hacks surprised you the most? Parchment cartouche. French-trained chefs cut parchment paper circles called cartouches to cover simmering sauces and braises, but this simple technique solves multiple cooking problems. The paper lid allows some evaporation while preventing skin formation, maintaining moisture without trapping steam like a tight lid would. Cut parchment slightly smaller than your pot, press directly onto the food surface, and enjoy perfectly reduced sauces without stirring constantly. This method prevents delicate items from breaking apart during long cooking and stops splattering on stovetops. Your grandmother might have used buttered wax paper for the same purpose. The technique is essential for poaching fruits and maintaining glossy custards. Modern slow cookers try to replicate this gentle cooking environment electronically. Room temperature eggs. Baking recipes always specify room temperature eggs for good reason, but waiting hours for eggs to warm up isn't necessary. Place cold eggs in a bowl of warm water for 5 to 10 minutes to quickly bring them to optimal temperature for mixing. Room temperature eggs emulsify better with fats, creating smoother batters and higher rising cakes. The proteins in warmer eggs are more flexible, trapping air more effectively during beating for fluffier results. This temperature difference can mean success or failure in delicate preparations like mayonnaise or hollandaise. Professional bakers plan ahead, but the warm water trick saves home bakers from curdled batters. Cold eggs can cause butter to seize and create lumpy mixtures that never smooth out completely. Dental floss cuts. Before wire cheese cutters, unflavored dental floss provided the cleanest cuts through soft cheeses, cinnamon roll dough, and delicate cakes. The thin floss slices without dragging or compressing, maintaining shape and texture better than knives. This technique is invaluable for portioning cookie dough logs, cutting fondant, and even slicing hard-boiled eggs. Professional bakers discovered floss creates cleaner layers when leveling cakes than serrated knives. The key is using unwaxed, unflavored floss to avoid transferring taste or texture. Your grandmother might have used thread for similar purposes, understanding that sometimes the gentlest tool is the most effective. This method also works brilliantly for cutting clay and soap in crafting. Salt your pasta water. The old Italian saying, "salty as the sea" for pasta water isn't just tradition, but crucial technique for properly seasoned noodles. Generously salted water seasons pasta from the inside out, something no amount of sauce can accomplish after cooking. The salt also slightly increases water's boiling point, helping pasta cook more evenly. This fundamental step separates amateur from professional pasta dishes, as undersalted pasta tastes flat regardless of sauce quality. Your grandmother knew that pasta water itself becomes an ingredient, with starchy, seasoned liquid, perfect for adjusting sauce consistency. Professional chefs save pasta water religiously, using it throughout service to perfect each dish. The amount seems shocking at first, about a tablespoon per quart, but most stays in the water. Double pan, gentle heat. Before double boilers, cooks nested one pan inside another with water between them to create gentle, indirect heat for melting chocolate and making custards. This technique prevents scorching and provides precise temperature control impossible with direct heat. The water bath can't exceed 212 degrees Celsius, keeping delicate ingredients below their burning point while maintaining steady heat. Your grandmother used this method for everything from hollandaise to rice pudding, achieving silky textures without constant stirring. Modern sous vide cooking is essentially a high-tech version of this ancient technique. The key is keeping water at a gentle simmer, never boiling, and ensuring the bottom pan doesn't touch water. This method rescues seized chocolate and broken sauces that direct heat would destroy. Share in the comments which of these timeless kitchen tricks you'll be trying first. Thanks for joining us on this trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed discovering these 30 kitchen secrets, give it a like and share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe.